I'm the general manager of 3 different restaurants here. We're all under one roof, which is kind of it keeps it fun and interesting. We have Purple Parrot Cafe, Mahogany Bar, and Crescent City Grill under the New South Restaurant Group umbrella. And so general manager, but also, beverage director and sommelier here at the restaurant as well. So
this goes along with the story that we're doing about what we're calling the North Coast, which is basically everything north of Napa and Sonoma.
Sure.
So can you tell me a little bit about the wine list, your wine list, and what you carry from those areas?
Sure. We've our wine list is usually around 1,000 labels. Vacillates between 900 and 1,050 labels. And I would say about 60% of that at any given time would be California wines. And over the years, the other wines from around the world have started to pick up some steam, and we sell a lot more of those. But California still remains very strong on our list.
Mm-hmm. And how would you say they're priced? What's the range for the California wines that you sell?
I would say, for the wines from California, we're starting at inexpensive Sauvignon Blanc at $22 a bottle, all the way to Harlan Estate at $1,500 a bottle. So a wide variance, but a lot of the things that we sell, the most of, are in that $50 to $125 price range.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And would you say you focus on a particular varietal, or do you sort of run the gamut?
It's interesting. I think that Chardonnay and Cabernet are always going to kind of be king for us, especially in California, but certainly over the last 5 years, Pinot Noir has just gained a lot of traction. A lot of stuff from Sonoma Coast and Russian River Valley, and then things a little further north as well, Mendocino and Anderson Valley. So Pinot's gaining on the California Cab and Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you merchandise them to guests, do you divide them up by region or by varietal, or how is your wine list set up?
Our wine list is broken up by varietal. Even with a list that big, we find it's still the most comfortable way for our guests to kind of navigate the list. So I do break up Chardonnay between Old World and New World, and the same thing for Pinot Noir. But for the most part, we're it's just listed by varietal, and then from there we'll list the AVAs and everything behind the list of the brand.
Mm-hmm. Now, in general, are your employees hand selling, or is this something that your customers are selecting for themselves?
I would say on our casual side, we're doing a lot of the guests are selecting things that are we've got a top 10 under 40 list that we keep updated, and we sell a lot of wines off of that because it's just the first page on the list, and it's easy. It lets guests feel a sense of comfort that these wines, the sommelier feels that these wines are good wines for a good value, and so they're just really hitting that top 10 under 40. And in the Purple Parrot side, our fine dining side, there's a lot of hand selling, so we're pushing some things that we find to be really interesting at the time, and find a little bit of traction that way.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you do a lot of by the glass pairings, or do you do that at all with your food?
Yeah, absolutely. We're our by the glass list is, we've got about 25 wines by the glass that we pour, and we'll try to make suggestions for that for guests on the casual side of the restaurant and in the bar. In the Purple Parrot, it's a little bit more intense and a lot of fun. We do a nightly chef's tasting menu with 5 courses, so we always do wine pairings with that, and it allows us to show guests some interesting wines, whether varietals that they haven't had as much before, and or from regions they're not as familiar with. And we also, not only do we pour those with the chef's tasting menu, but if people are ordering those food items a la carte, then we'll certainly pour those wines up for them. So it allows us to pour some things that maybe are a little bit out of the norm for people, and also at a little different price point than what our everyday by the glass page is priced at.
Mm-hmm. And I know you touched a little bit about this earlier, but specifically, what are you seeing in terms of trends when it comes to California wines?
I think that we've, as I mentioned, Pinot Noir really gaining traction on the catching up with Cabernet and Chardonnay in terms of sheer volume of sales. But I think we're starting to see some of those. I think the Rhone style wines are really becoming after some of the big reviews that wineries like Saxum have received. We really like their wines. We like J.C. Cellars a lot. Some of these Rhone blends where you're getting Grenache and Syrah, maybe a little Carignan, stuff like that. We're starting to see those wines being ordered more, even when they're not a hand sale. And then certainly on the hand sale, people are much more apt to look at those wines, and they enjoy them a lot. I think that Petite Syrah has been one that, especially from like Lake County, we have some Petite Syrahs that are really selling way more than I would have ever expected them to 5 years ago. And the great thing about that particular region, we feel like Lake County just has phenomenal prices. So we move a lot of wine from that area because you can just really undersell instead of trying to upsell a guest. Somebody's willing to spend $50 and you give them a $38 Petite Syrah that's just bold and really is exciting. And when they find out it's $38, it's just it's a plus. It's great for them, and it's great for us to be able to give them something at that kind of value.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Dusty.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Take care.